Welcome to Little Josh Yarns. Today we're going to learn how to make this flower granny square market bag, which is put together using 21 easy squares that are sewn together with a whip stitch. The bag itself measures 30 inches long from handle to bottom. It's 21 inches, which is the body, and the handles itself is 9 inches, and across this is 13 inches across. So let's get into the materials that we'll be needing. You'll need a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm also using a number 4 weight yarn, medium weight yarn. I'm using Big Twist Shine, but you can use any medium weight yarn of your choosing. It's completely up to you. And I'm using that in 10 different colors. I'll link the colors down below on the description box or on my website, where you can follow along to the absolutely free pattern that'll be linked down in the description box below. And also, of course, you'll need some scissors and a needle for sewing. Alright, we got all that out the way, so let's hop directly into this pattern. We're going to begin by making a magic ring. If you can't make a magic ring, just chain 4 and slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. So let me get my magic ring, and we are going to chain 1. We're going to place 12 single crochets into the ring. So you can pause your video here and complete your 12 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the very last stitch. I just completed the 11th single crochet, and I'm going to do the last one with you. So go under and complete your single crochet halfway through, and now I'm going to transition colors. I'm going to drop this working yarn and pick up my secondary color. I do this so I won't have to worry about weaving in ends later. So now slip stitch to join into that very first single crochet. And now you can pull your little tail right here and close off your center circle. Now we're going to start our pattern repeat. I'm going to write it above or down below, wherever it fits. So we're going to begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. I recommend working over your yarn right now, but I'm not, so you'll be able to see the stitches. Next, we're going to place 3 treble crochets into the very next stitch, which is right here. So yarn over twice, go into that next stitch, and complete a treble crochet. That's 1. Two. 3. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So here's a slip stitch. That's 1. Next stitch, slip stitch again, and 2. And we're going to start this pattern repeat all the way over again by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3, and placing 3 treble crochets into the next stitch, chain 3, then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So you can pause your video here and meet me at the very end of this round, and at the end you should have a total of 4 petals. We made it to the very end of this round, and I just completed the last chain 3, and you should have 1 stitch remaining. So you're going to slip stitch into that very last stitch, and you can fasten off your work. And I forgot to tell you, you can fasten off your work over here also. That first color. Now we're going to take our 3rd color, and we're going to attach it to any one of your slip stitches in the creases of your petal. If you're following along to the written pattern, it'll say attach the yarn to the 2nd slip stitch, but it really doesn't make a difference. Alright, we're going to begin by attaching your yarn and chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. These chain 3s here are not counting as double crochets. So right now we are going to place a half double crochet into the top of the 3rd chain. Here's the 3rd chain, place a half double crochet. Chain 1. Double crochet into the same stitch. Chain 1. Now we're going to place 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. That's 1. 2. Now we're going to place another chain stitch. We're going to place a chain stitch in between all these groupings. Now into that next stitch, we're going to place 3 treble crochets. That's 2. And 3. Chain 1. Into the next stitch, we're going to place 2 treble crochets. That's 1. Back into the same stitch with a treble crochet. And 2. Chain 1. Don't worry, you're going to have this memorized in no time. Into the very top, you see that we're on a chain 3 again. So that next chain stitch right here, the top of your chain 3, we're going to place a double crochet. Almost forgot. Because we're matching the opposite side. Chain 1, back into the same stitch with a half double crochet. And to finish off this petal, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the space between the petals. If you're following along to the written pattern, I say slip stitch into the second slip stitch right here, but it really doesn't matter as long as it's in between the petal. And that is going to be our pattern repeat all the way around. Remember, we're going to start by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. I will write the pattern up above and down below so you can pause it and know exactly how to finish the petal. And I'll also leave you a timestamp on exactly where round 3 petal begins so you can do the pattern repeat over with me. So pause your video here and I'll meet you on the last stitch of this round. We've made it to the end of round number 3 and I just completed my last chain 3 and I'm just going to slip stitch into that space in between your petals. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And after you have your slip stitch, we're just going to fasten off our work. And this is what your work should look like. Alright, so now if you're following along to the free written pattern that is on my website, I'm going to be reading this pattern a little bit different so you won't have to worry about counting stitches. Visually, you're just going to be looking for markers. Alright, so the markers that we'll be looking for within these petals, you remember your double crochet stitch that's right next to your half double crochet. So we're working into that stitch. And we'll be working into the middle of your 3 treble crochet stitches. So all you have to remember is the middle of your treble crochet stitches and all of your double crochet stitches. All right, got it? All right, so let's start row number 4. We're going to attach our yarn to any double crochet that's on the left side of your petal. So here's my petal, left side. And here is a double crochet. See it? All right. We're going to begin by attaching our yarn and chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to double crochet into the next double crochet on the next petal over here. This stitch will count as a double crochet 2 together. Alright, so let's start a pattern repeat. We are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to double crochet 2 together in this middle treble crochet right here. You see the 3? We're going to work into that middle stitch. Double crochet 2 together, 2 on a hook, go back in, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3. Now back into the same stitch, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and put a treble crochet 2 together. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, leave 2 on your hook. So yarn over twice again, 1, 2, back into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 3. Chain 2, 1, 2, back into the same stitch. We are going to work a double crochet 2 together. Yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, back into the same stitch, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 3. Alright, I'm going to show you this pattern repeat one more time. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, officially this starts the pattern repeat. We're going to place a double crochet 2 together by connecting these 2 double crochets on the petals, the opposite petals. Ready? So let's double crochet 2 together. Go into that next double crochet, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go over to the next petal's double crochet to complete your double crochet 2 together. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to work this corner all over again by doing a double crochet 2 together, chain 2, treble crochet 2 together, chain 2, then double crochet 2 together. Woo! Tongue twister. Alright, so now we're going to look for the center treble crochet. You see these 3? So we're going to work that sequence right into that stitch. So let's do our double crochet 2 together. Chain 2. Treble crochet 2 together. Chain 2. Now double crochet 2 together. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start that sequence all over again by double crocheting 2 together, your double crochet stitches, chain 5, then we're going to work our corner sequence, which is a double crochet 2 together, chain 2, treble crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together, and then chain 5 again and start all over. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of this round and I'll work the last stitches with you. We've made it to the end of the round and I just completed my last chain 5, and we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first double crochet 2 together. We're going to work into that kind of, I know it's a chain 3, but kind of work into that double crochet right here and slip stitch to join. Chain 1. For this last round, we're basically going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around with 3 single crochets on the corner stitches, which are the treble crochets 2 together. Alright, so now we are going to place 5 single crochets into this chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into this next stitch, which is the double crochet 2 together, 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space, 1, 2, and in a treble crochet 2 together, we're going to place 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. In the chain 2 space, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and in a double crochet 2 together, a single crochet. And in the chain 5 space, we're going to place 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you see we're basically placing 1 single crochet in the chain spaces for each single crochet there is in the chain space. So remember, in a double crochet 2 together, we're going to place 1 single crochet. In a chain 5 space, 5 single crochet, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and in each corner we're going to place 3 single crochets. If it's confusing, don't worry, I'll write it up above and you can follow along to the free written pattern. It's super simple. So pause your video here, continue placing your single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you at the very end of this round. We've made it to the very end of the last round, and we're just going to slip stitch to join into that very first single crochet. And you can fasten off your work. And you are all done. You'll complete a total of 21 flower granny squares. Next, I'll show you how to sew it together. Now that you have your 21 squares done, we're going to place all your squares the wrong side facing up so we can sew them together. So you can pause your video here so you can look at this picture, and I want you to lay out all your squares exactly like this. To sew these granny squares together, I'm just using a simple whip stitch. Make sure your work is on the wrong side facing up, and I'm just going through both loops on the front one and both loops on the back one to complete my whip stitch. I'll show you one more time. Both loops on the front, both loops on the back. Alright, now sew all your work together, and I'll meet you at the very next step. Once you have all your pieces laid out together like this, we're going to take these bottom 2 granny squares and pull them all the way up to the top and line it up with the top 2. And you should have 4 little flaps remaining open. What we're going to do here is fold them over. And make sure you turn your work inside out again, and we're just going to whip stitch these last 4 flaps closed. Alright, after that's all done, I'll meet you and we'll work on the last part, which is the handles. We sewn our back together, and this is what our work should look like. For this round, we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and on your corner pieces where you can see there's 3 single crochets, on your single crochet we're going to place 3 single crochets to complete that corner. So I'll show you what it looks like so far. So attach your yarn, and we're going to begin with our single crochets. So pause your video here, continue placing single crochets all the way till you make it to the corner, and I'll show you how to work the corner. We made it to the corner, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to place a single crochet into the next one. And that middle single crochet right here, we're going to place 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and that makes the corner. And you're going to continue placing one single crochet in each stitch all the way around until you make it to the corner again, and once again you're going to place 3 single crochets in that center single crochet. So pause your video here and I'll meet you when you're complete with this round. We've made it back around and we're just going to slip stitch to join into that very first single crochet. Chain 1. Let's single crochet back into that very same stitch. And we're going to continue to place one single crochet in each stitch until you make it to your very first peak. So pause your video here and I'll meet you when you make it to your peak. We've made it to our very first peak, and you'll know you're at the peak because you'll see those 3 single crochets that's in that one center stitch. And once you single crochet into that center single crochet, we're going to begin to chain our very first handle. We're going to start by chaining a total of 75. So pause your video here and continue to chain 75. We just completed our chain of 75, and now we're going to attach our yarn to the opposite side. So, for a quick check, if you would like to make your handle longer than my 75 chains, now is the time. Try it on your arm, see if it's long enough. Is it too long, too short? Subtract the chains and remember the number. Alright, so now we're just going to attach this to this very peak of the very next one, which is the center single crochet, with a single crochet, and your first handle is connected. Now we're just going to continue placing one single crochet in each stitch until you make it to your very next peak, and we're going to repeat the same thing over again. So pause your video here, continue with these single crochets, and I'll meet you at the very next peak. We made it to the next peak, and we're just going to repeat the same thing that we did on the opposite side. We are going to chain 75 chains and then connect it to the very next peak with a single crochet, and finish single crocheting all the way down the other side. And I'll meet you back at the beginning. So pause your video here and I'll meet you when you make it to the very end of this round. Once you've made it back around, we're going to slip stitch to join into that very first single crochet and chain 1. Single crochet back into that very same space. We're going to place one single crochet in each stitch all the way around for a total of 2 rows, including this one. So pause your video here, continue placing one single crochet in each one of your stitches, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Next, we're going to be working on the inside of your strap, crocheting a row, 2 rows of single crochet. Since we already made it thick on the outside, we're going to reinforce the straps on the inside. So we're going to attach our yarn to the bottom part of our V right here. Let me zoom in. There we go. So we're going to attach our yarn here. And single crochet into that very same place where you attached your yarn. So this part is super easy. We're just going to single crochet all the way around your strap. We're going to be working on the underneath stitches also, all the way around. And I'll meet you back at the other side. Just a quick tip if you weren't sure exactly what the underside of the strap was. This is the underside of the strap. This is the outside that we originally worked on that has all the V's. And the underside, you should have probably like one little loop left. And that's what we'll be single crocheting on the underside of the strap. Alright, so finish this row and I'll meet you at the end. We've made it back around and we finished the inside of that strap. So we have one more round of single crochet. But first, we're going to slip stitch to join into that very first single crochet. Chain 1. And we're going to repeat the last round by putting a round of single crochet all the way around the inside of your strap. So you can pause your video here and continue with your round of single crochet, and this will be the very last round for this bag. We've made it back around and we're just going to slip stitch to join and fasten off. And we're going to repeat the same exact 2 rounds on the opposite side on the other strap. So you can pause your video here and continue completing the other side of the strap, and once you're finished with the 2 rows on the other strap, you are all done and just weaving your ends.